Throne Liberty just launched their spear, and there's been a lot of questions regarding the spear. Is the spear good? What weapon should you pair the spear up with? Now, I want to release this video, which is basically a tier list where I will be covering which weapons are best to pair up with the spear. Now, I could have waited longer with this weapon and done a more deep analysis of it, but I know most of you guys want an answer right now because you want to know if you want to invest in it or if it's worth investing in. So I've been talking around with people that play in Korea that's had the spear for a couple of days, and then I checked out the players that have been currently playing it, and I've been playing it myself, and I read around on the different threads about forums about the spear. So hopefully this tier list can help you guys out deciding if this is a weapon you want to go for. So we have the list right here are the weapons. So basically I'll be ranking them, and first one we can start with is the bow. So the bow, in my opinion, it is a range weapon. I'm going to put it on B rank, and the reason I'm going to put it on B rank is, let's be real, there's much better weapons to pair up with the bow. Like for example, a dagger does everything much better than a spear would do. The only good thing or the positive thing that you can take from the spear is that there is a spear that is called resistance spear, which gives you an attack range increase of like 20 or 25%, which basically means that you can attack with a bow from a much longer distance. Aside from that, if you're not using that spear, the passive stuff could be nice, but let's be real, if somebody jumps on you, you're not going to do good. As a bow player, you want to keep your distance from players. So overall, it won't be able to harmonize good with a bow, especially if you have been running evasion. Spear actually promotes running more endurance build. Overall, bow would not go good with spear. You can play it; it's definitely doable, especially in PvP with a certain niche playstyle. But overall, bow, I don't see it doing really good with spear currently. Next up, we have the crossbow. I'm going to put also crossbow on the B tier, slightly ahead of the bow. Because there can be some use with the crossbow with the spear, because the spear has a really nice ability where you can jump in, right, and fear players. So jumping in, fearing, combining with the crossbow spin might work, but overall crossbow definitely needs a very heavy crit build around it. So I think it is again doable, but the other weapons are just has way better synergy when it comes to crossbow, right? Especially you want to run evasion meta if you're running crossbow, right? You're jumping in a group of probably melees or whatever. You want to have high melee evasion, while the spear promotes more of an endurance build and not an evasion build, right? So definitely crossbow, I could see it in a special type of playstyle, but overall I just don't think crossbow is viable currently. Again, this might change, people might figure out more of the metas, but currently I cannot give crossbow. I would put a high B tier. Yeah, now size the others. Next up, we have the dagger. I think the dagger right now is, if not one of the best, if not the best synergy with the spear. I do think this might change, because once you reach a certain hit cap, you're gonna probably struggle with having this combo, because spear does give a lot of hit, especially like the Shakai spear gives you a lot of hit, so you can manage with the new runes to get high enough hit. But I think when you come into T2, when players will have way more evasion, I think you will struggle running spear and daggers. But right now, I think it's extremely strong. They synergize really well. A lot of attack speed, a lot of fast attacks, a lot of CC, good damage. It overall just complements each other really well. So dagger and spear, I think, is one of the best, if not the best, comp style to play currently. So definitely, if you play dagger, definitely check out the spear. I think it will do really good in both PvE and in PvP. Next up, we have the Greatsword. I'm gonna pick the Greatsword in A. I've been playing a bunch of Greatsword. That's mainly the ones I have been playing. Now, Greatsword goes very well with the spear, because you can play a very nice endurance build with spear, and the Greatsword have high HP build with a lot of CC, and the passives work really well with each other, right? Good heavy attack, a lot of damage. The only reason I'm not putting the Greatsword on S tier is because I feel like it feels a little clunky when you're playing the spear. You're cast because the spear has a lot of fast attack, huge attack speed, which works really well. But the greatsword has high attack cast spells, right? Like the guillotine. So when you're using those skills and you're trying to overlap them, it does feel a little bit clunky overlapping from a spear cast. I mean, a spear spell to a greatsword spell. But aside from that, like stat wise and passive wise and skill wise, I would say greatsword synergizes really well with spear, and I think we're gonna see a bunch of greatsword and spear builds going forward. I think this is definitely a comp that can work really well, and you won't have an issue with the hit. I think greatsword and spear will actually have the most hit out of every single weapon combo, which can be really deadly in PvP because you'll be able to even destroy dagger players that will have insane amount of evasion because of the amount of hit you can stack together with these two weapons. So greatsword definitely has a potential to be S tier if they fix a little bit of the clunkiness and the skill issues, because they pair really well overall with all the active and passive skills. Next up is the sword and shield. Sword and shield, I would actually give a low S tier. Uh, I've been kind of struggling with the sword and shield. Most likely, that's how I'm gonna build my character. I'm probably gonna drop the great sword and go for a sword and shield spear build. And firstly, I was kind of afraid of not being able to have enough hit because I lose the hit with the great sword, which is huge, by the way, to lose it. But overall, get with the runes and having spears with high hit, if you can make up for it and get over 1,100 hit, 1,200 hit, I think this build could be really strong because the spear again provides really good passives and has some really good support skills. Because at the end of the day, the spear is a very, I would say it's a support weapon more than an actual main weapon. It complements the sword and shield a lot with a lot of its buffs and debuffs that it can put. It can put fears. It can jump into a crowd. It can have a lot of CC immunity. So overall, it works really good with the sword and shield. Very fast in and out attacks. It can help your own teammates by jumping on your own teammates to get the healers out. So I think a sword and shield synergizes really well with the spear. I think the only thing that the spear and sword and shield is lacking would be hit chance, having enough hit. But if you can get enough hit and build it around it, I think sword and shield is going to be massive with the spear. I think it will rival the great sword. Greatsword and sword and shield will always be one of the top tiers, but the spear does other things really well. The attack speed is super nice to have. The debuffs and buffs that it provides is super nice to pair up with the shield. So I would say that it is definitely one of the best, if not the best, weapons to pair up with the spear currently. Next up, we have staff. I would put staff C tier. I'm gonna be honest. Staff is just not good. Like you can get again the same thing what I was talking about with the bow. You can get the extra range, but overall, staff needs you're a range. Like the problem with the spear and playing with range is with the spear you do have certain things that you can use, which is like the javelin throw with some range skill. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna play spear, the problem is when it comes to the charge of the spear, where it jumps to certain places, you actually have a target. So if somebody jumps on you, you don't really have much options with the spear, right? You can't really do anything. You can try like fear them away if they jump you, but aside from that, it's just not strong enough, and it just doesn't synergize well with ranged weapons in right now. It can give you some right night passives, but other weapons just does it so much better. It's so much better pairing with staff than spear. Like I would not pair spear with staff in the first place. So I will put staff on the C tier. I just don't see it working. Now the wand, I was trying to cook a little bit with the wand. I was thinking maybe the wand could be B tier and it could work, right? Because again, you get that range with the spear and you get the fear. You can pair up maybe with the sleep, all that stuff. But again, I just don't think, especially like if you're a healer, you want to have a staff or a bow, right? If you're a sleeper, you want to have either daggers or so people don't see you coming. What you could do, the spear does have a really nice jump So he charges a jump and he can jump into a crowd and then pop sleep. So it could be a way to use it, but I just think that other classes probably does it better. I could see it working, but again, you want to have to build endurance. I just don't see it working with the wand. So I am really happy with this tier list right now. I think you can test it if you really want to play spear and you have bow or crossbow. I think you can pull it off, but uh, the best pairing would definitely be one of these top. I do think Greatsword has potential to be S tier. You just need a little bit more. I think maybe we just have to get used to playing it. I think right now I just feel a lot very clunky because of the way the spear is and the way the Greatsword is. And the skill swaps, but I think once you learn like the rotation, it could be really good because the way I see you playing with the greatsword is you can smash absolutely anything. Also with the dagger, because with the spear you have a spear throw that can put a debuff on the player that you target, right? And you can jump on that player with spear, and you can pop this. Spear actually has a skill that makes sure that you cannot block for like 3 or 6 seconds, which is absolutely nuts. So you jump a player, you pop that on them, and you Greatsword just one shots them, and then with the Great Sword dash, you can just get out of there, right? So you can use the spear to jump in, smash them, and get away. Also pop a fear and stuff. So I think the play with the Greatsword could be good. You can also like use this for like the bow, for example, and the ranged weapons. You could throw the javelin, put the debuff, and then go crazy on them. But I just don't see it working really well. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with my tier list? You're allowed to, of course, disagree and be like, hey, we don't agree with you. I'm going to be playing with the bow, whatever. Again, at the end of the day, you can play with whatever weapon you guys want. I mean, that's the end of the day. This is a game. You can play with whatever weapon, whichever you want to do. Sorry for my voice and stuff, by the way, guys. I've been on all day just playing the game and I'm getting a little sick. But this is, I think, we're gonna see probably changes to this tier list, going deeper, diving deeper with the spear. This is just like overall first impression. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. Make sure you guys check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.